So, a friend of mine was telling me, I'd imagine maybe in a joking manner, maybe partially true, or I'd rather say partially serious, to do an ASMR video. And I thought that that would be kind of funny to do. I'll be honest with you, ASMR to me is kind of weird. It's not really my thing, but if other people like it, then I'm not going to judge. But I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? How about I just do one of everything in the future so that if people will ask me, hey, what have you done before? And I'll say them, well, I've done ASMR, so you tell me. It's kind of funny, actually. I really wasn't thinking of doing this until they just kept like telling me like to do it, and I was thinking to myself, it's it's probably not. It's probably not gonna happen. Like I wouldn't really expect for me to do it. And yet here I am, fucking 11:20 o'clock a.m. Recording myself talking to just a bunch of random people on the internet. Maybe it's gonna go around, maybe it won't. Who knows? But since I've already started, I might as well just get through with it. I'm going to do this for, let's say, 20 minutes. I feel like 20 minutes is a good amount of time that people could just sit down, listen, and think to themselves, all right, I'm gonna fucking fall asleep now because I am tired of listening to this dumbass idiot. um, I'll do a bunch of post processing to make sure that none parts just don't randomly ear rape and make it just genuinely unlistenable because I'm not here to ruin anybody's ears yet. Um, if I wanted to do that, I would outright just make a video of it. I have done it before. My previous quote unquote ASMR video was that where I tell people to relax, I tell people to calm down, and then I hit them with it's all about the Mets, baby. And obviously, it's it's funny. I thought it's funny. If other people think it's funny, then that's good. But at the end of the day, it's what I want, and I thought it was funny, so I stuck with it. Anyways, let's continue on with this current one. I have no clue what I really am going to talk about because I have never done this before. And talking to myself, technically, in front of a mic for the purpose of talking is weird. I've never done this before. And I'm not even playing anything either because I'm afraid that if I start playing something, you'll hear my mic. Or not my mic, my keyboard and mouse. And if I'm a, like, you know what I'm going to see? I'd imagine you probably heard that. I it's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah, excuse me. I gotta get a drink. I'll do this like maybe once or twice throughout the video, see if that helps people. That was nice. Don't forget to stay hydrated, folks. Water is important. It is key. If you have any other ways of getting hydrated, then it works, but water is always the go-to solution. Water is great. It is delicious. No, it's not. It's not delicious. It's just refreshing. It's just really, really refreshing. And because of that, I could always just reach out for it, take a good sip, and just go, ah, that was delicious. But I keep using the same wrong word. I just keep using the same. This is just so weird to me. I've been talking for almost 4 minutes now, and all I've been doing is fucking rambling. I don't get it. I was told that I could just outright ramble, and now I'm sitting here. I'm like, but I guess it's like what really do ASMR people talk about when it's not some weird fucking shit about being a hardcore dom or a hardcore sub or some other shit like that. Just fucking keep that to yourself, you weirdos. But no, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I don't expect for this to really go anywhere. It'll probably just fucking uh go around, and I'd imagine that some group of people are gonna find this randomly, and they're gonna start like messaging me. They're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, that was so cringe. Why the fuck are you doing this?" Listen, I'm not gonna keep doing this shit. I'm probably only gonna make one of these. I'm probably gonna leave it, and then I'm gonna fucking laugh that it's just still there. If it gets famous, then cool. It doesn't mean I'm gonna turn into a fucking ASMR YouTuber. And anybody who's expecting any more ASMR out of me, just like you're probably not gonna get anything. So I'm sorry. Um, I realize that this isn't necessarily ASMR, but in order for me to actually do ASMR, I have to get real close to my mic. And to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of doing this constantly. It makes my neck feel stiff, and then it makes my mouth really dry. I imagine that you probably are getting a kick out of this, though, since it is a sudden shift in volume and somewhat tone, but I am not going to keep doing this for long. Although, now having done it, I think I might actually stick with this for a bit before I go back to the usual tone of voice. Now, it's funny, I lied to you, deal with it, but sorry, I have a bit of a throat thing going on right now. I had a cold a couple days ago, and the buildup is still there, so I just gotta wait for that to go away. Maybe if I drink more water, like the water, the essence of life, the thing that keeps all of us alive. It's so important, right? Right. And it's like just dawned on me. It's so funny that I'm gonna have to re-listen to this, the whole thing. I'm gonna have to listen to myself fucking talk, and just to like make sure that nothing is like too harsh on the ears. I'm looking at the sound wave of like I'm looking at the waves right now of all these sounds coming through my mic and being picked up, and I see whenever I'm coughing, it like maximizes, and so that's gonna tell me I'm gonna have to lower the volume of the whole thing by just a little bit, just to make sure that it doesn't break people's ears. Um, but let's figure out more things that we could talk about. I mean, what else is there to talk about? My name's Kevin Rodriguez. You could probably tell by the name on the goddamn channel. I like video games a lot. Video games are great. I also sometimes like to dip my toes uh, into sound design. Although I haven't really been doing that too often lately, and I'm a little sad about that, but I want to go back into it. I will eventually. I just need to figure out what I'm going to be doing. I really like making spooky sounds, like things that you could put in like horror games or just movies, or just to have like spread creepy stuff around just to make people feel creeped out, because I feel I like the idea of being able to make someone feel creeped out or scared, but not actually put them in any physical danger. It's like it shows to me that I know what is scary, and that's cool. But it's like at the same time, anybody could technically know what's scary. They just got to think about what scares them. People typically do have common fears, and it's safe to assume that if you're scared of something, other people are probably scared of it too. Spiders, death, heights, large open spaces, small closed spaces, all that stuff. And if me saying any of that stuff triggered some kind of reaction out of you, apologies, but you fucking. I literally just said a word. Get yourself checked out. Um, what's it called? I'm leaning back and I'm thinking about it. And it's just like sometimes I have to stop myself from moving too far back on this chair, or else I'm going to break it. Now, let me just keep rambling for a second. I'm going to just keep like jumping from like subject matter to subject matter. Um, let's talk about video games for a little bit. I'm going to talk about some games that I really like, some games that I really dislike, some games that I want to get into. Maybe even I'll buy them right after this ASMR session. Who fucking knows? But let me just start off with my favorite game of all time. And I've told this to many of my friends before. If you check my Steam profile and you see my like accumulated time on games, the runner up is, or not the runner up, the winner, the obvious winner is fucking Terraria. Um, which is so weird. It's so weird because I found out about Terraria when I was on vacation, when I was a young kid, and my friend, not my friend, my cousin showed me a cracked version of it. Yeah, cracked version. I fucking pirated Terraria before buying it. Guilty as charged. And I took that pirated copy and I played the shit out of it. And it was a long time ago. It was back when Terraria was very bare bones with its content, and it was very like small with what it had. Not a lot of people really knew what to do with it other than fighting the three end game quote unquote bosses at the same time. And this is like to give context to those who don't understand, Terraria has gone through many like big updates, and what like probably one of the most important updates that ever was released was 1.1, which was the release of hard mode to Terraria. And hard mode basically changes the entire world and makes it hard, as it says it in the name, and more or less just makes it so that you have a challenge that you have to do after you've completed all of the original game stuff. Excuse me. Oh. Sometimes you can't stop the sounds from just coming out, and I'm not really going to bother with removing those from the final product. I know that some people are going to get on me about that, but this isn't serious. I'm literally just making this because I'm bored for a little bit and I wanted to do it. Immediately after this, I'm going to get some fucking food anyway, so it's like whatever. But back to Terraria. It's a 2D side-scrolling sandbox like survival game. Not necessarily a survival game. It's a sandbox game, and it's technically a building game as well. Like I guess the fucking most bare bones way of saying it, or the most like simple way of me explaining Terraria is 2D Minecraft. But I think that's I think that's like inherently not true anymore. Before, sure, you could say that, but Terraria is just so much more dependent on like elements that are in the game, whereas Minecraft is more about making it more fun for yourself. Because I'm gonna be real with you, I can't play vanilla Minecraft anymore unless I'm playing with like friends. But I can't play vanilla Minecraft because I get bored so fucking fast. I have to play modded Minecraft just to keep myself busy all the time, and it's so weird because like I have no idea as to what the shit I'm doing in vanilla Minecraft, even though I know what I should be doing, but it's just so boring to me. With vanilla Terraria, like, I usually, like, the beginning of the game is really, really slow, although they did try changing that in the last big update, 1.4, Journey's End, which was really good, and that's nice. I just, obviously, me being me, I prefer the mid game and the late game as opposed to the early game. Just because I feel like it gives more freedom, more content for you to go through. But with the early game, I just enjoy it a lot. But I realize that I'm talking about Terraria for far too long. Let me end it with this. And I don't mean the video or the recording. I just mean the Terraria portion. I have been playing Terraria for a long time now. I have been playing Terraria since 2011, and it's been incredible the entire time. Obviously, it's been a little different because I've been playing with friends or I've been playing with mods. I've been playing a lot with mods recently. It's fun as shit. And I am just going through it. It's going to remain my favorite game of all time. I highly doubt that another game is going to beat it. So let's talk about another game that I very much enjoy, but also hate. Let's talk about Binding of Isaac for a moment. Binding of Isaac started off as just a small project that Edmund McMillan and Florian Himsel had in their minds. And it's a fun little game, The original Binding of Isaac is a cool little game that's interesting. But it's also kind of like fuck you hard. The game doesn't really treat you nicely. It never will. It just expects for you to take the butt fucking and to deal with it. And I'm like, okay, it's obvious that there are people who like that kind of situation. There are people who play Dark Souls games, for examples, where the games are really, really hard but once you understand how it works, you can usually handle it. Now, obviously, I'm not about to just go on a tirade like just a straight up go at Isaac, calling it shit. Isaac is a good game. Binding of Isaac Rebirth is a really good game. As its different uh, DLCs came out, it was better with every one. Usually, there is one exception, but usually with every DLC that came out, it was good. But let's talk about the last DLC that came out, and that was Repentance. Repentance was fantastic. It was great. Sorry, my father walked into the room nearby. I didn't really want to keep talking while he's just like around. I didn't want to spark anything possibly. But Repentance made The Binding of Isaac just so much better. It introduces Anti-Birth, which was originally just a fan mod of the original Rebirth, and makes it canon while fixing, like, changing it a little bit, reworking some of the items, and then adding in a final boss, like a I'd say technical true final boss, but not necessarily. The game already had a final boss prior, but the final boss before was a fat sack of shit that is never gonna be fixed because Edmund McMillan is a stupid bastard. But let's take a moment to just think about this for a second. Um, this is more or less a podcast now. I kind of just talked for 20 minutes without actually whispering all that much, and I'm sorry if that doesn't mean ASMR to you, but like I said earlier, I don't really want to do this for 20 straight minutes. It's like, it makes me feel weird. Um, every once in a while, I'll do this just to try to like spark your like ASMR needs and just make you go, "Ooh, he's doing it again. Yes, finally." But I'm just gonna talk normally for the most part. And I just realized this is almost done. It's almost been 20 straight minutes, which is ridiculous because I was just talking. And when you fucking talk about things that you are interested in, time flies. And that's some bullshit, man. It's some bullshit. When you're doing things that you don't like, time is so slow. You just sit in there like, But when you're doing things you like, time just, you completely ignore time and it just flies underneath your fucking wings. And you're just sitting there like, God damn. I actually just stood here for 20 minutes talking about random bullshit, and people might actually listen to this on the goddamn internet. I gotta figure out whether or not this is actually classifiable as ASMR. If not, then I'll post it with ASMR in the title, and then I'll change the title later on and just fucking say, just like, I don't know, a quiet 20-minute chat. Maybe you could fall asleep to this challenge easy. um but anyways, it's like, I'm not here to tell any specific person how they should live their life. If this helps you, then this helps you. If it doesn't, then whatever. You're probably just listening to this just to listen. If you think my voice is attractive, then thank you. Genuinely, any people telling me that any part of me is attractive, I'm gonna sit down and be like, do behave. um but I do know that I did actually have a little bit of fun saying all of this. I actually literally just sat in front of my fucking computer, staring at Audacity, watching the time go by as I'm just talking. But let me finish what I was gonna do. Okay, here. I hate Among Us. Fuck Among Us. I love Terraria. I love question mark Binding of Isaac. I play League of Legends, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I said that. It would have been better if I had just not said that. But it's been interesting. This really has been interesting. I'm actually going to end this at 20 minutes and 1 second, just so that I could not talk for a single second and then end it off at the 20-minute mark, technically. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I am gonna have to re-listen to all of this again just because I'm gonna leave all of this in because I want to keep it as fucking raw as possible. I want to make sure that it's as organic as possible too. I'm not about to make everything different. Maybe I'll like quiet it down a little bit, but other than that, I'm just going to keep it in as is. Even this, even what I'm saying right now, that will be part of the video and you're going to deal with it. So, anyways, if you're listening to this at night, I hope you have a good night. If you're listening to this in the morning, I hope you have a good morning, and I hope you have a good day. Otherwise, it's been fun.